be there in a second. I'm just getting some incense. Morning. Good morning all. Good morning all. Just getting myself in situ and getting a few things just set up, and I might do a bit of painting as well while I'm here today. I popped on a live yesterday. It was a very quiet live. There wasn't many people about. And I was just going through inspiration. I was brainstorming really, just ideas for new videos, new content. Oh, somebody, AC commented last night actually. Using crystals with Reiki and Reiki for addiction, and maybe a hypnosis for addiction as well. That will be a good one. So thank you AC for mentioning them. Thank you for the loves, whoever that is, giving me some loves. So yeah, we're talking science and spirituality today. Just while I'm getting myself set up with bits and bobs, I'm going to do a bit of painting while I'm at it. So I'm going to go back to this one, which is the Eiffel Tower one, which I started, and then got sidetracked with that one, which is waiting to get done. So I'm going to go back to this one and try and finish this one off now. Yeah, so I was watching a video, just a Godzillion, hello. I was watching a video just the other day, and it was with Brian Cox, Professor Brian Cox, not the actor, Professor Brian Cox. And obviously he's a physicist, and he's very much into cosmology and the universe and planets and atoms and energy. He talks a lot about energy. And so this chat that he was on, it was on for about an hour. You know, and everything that he'd said, as I was listening to him, it all had a spiritual context. Everything took me back to a level of spirituality from what he was saying. Although he never directly said that. But do you follow Hinduism? Little aspect of it, but I don't really know that much about it. But obviously that is the Om symbol there. No, I don't have cancer, whoever you are, hail person. That's a very strange question. Angel, hello. Thank you very much for subbing, Angel. Lovely to have you here. So I was chatting away with I was chatting away. I was watching this video with Professor Brian Cox, and I can't even remember what it was. Like a podcast with a young woman, and she was asking all these different questions, and you could see there was a part of him where he was like kind of like talking away and chatting, and there was a part of him that was almost like resisting to go down the spiritual route, and she asked him at one point about like kind of like what happens to us when we die, and his belief, because he was talking a lot about energy, and he didn't believe that anything happened because the physical mechanics of what carries us has ended. So his belief, from a scientific standpoint, stated that like he didn't think anything happened. There was no afterlife. There was nothing like that. There was no great veil beyond. He thought that was just it, because your consciousness is gone, because you're not thinking anymore. But that got me thinking, because consciousness is deeper than thought. That's what I believe. It's deeper than thought. So what we think and what we can rationally think. Making a coffee, excellent, good. Might be in for a long haul on this one. Maybe about 3 coffees. But thought itself is, we are so much more than just mere thought. And this is kind of like my argument against the scientific standpoint of where he was trying to come from. And not that I'm knocking any aspect of science, because as they rightly stated in this interview, in this podcast, that science, basically, the act of being scientific is you don't know. It's unknown. You don't know the answers, and that's why science is there, to try and push the boundaries. And as individuals, that is what we're always doing in spirituality. We're always evolving beyond our boundaries. We're always trying to move past a certain point. Noel, hello. So we're always trying to move beyond a certain point in spirituality. So whether it's in your meditation practice or your mindfulness practice, you're always evolving and you're always moving through various barriers. And sometimes you come back and then you have to go again and grow and evolve and develop energetically and emotionally and mentally. But consciousness itself is deeper than just thought. That's my understanding. And my belief is it's deeper than thought, because on some level, when we're sort of like, when we're in meditation, say, or when we're in a practice of mindfulness, hello Triz, say my name and I will like. Hello Triz. When we're in the practice of mindfulness and meditation, and we get to a point where thought begins to sort of like quieten down. It doesn't stop, because you're never going to ever stop thought, but it becomes a lot quieter. And then you go to a point which is deeper than thought itself, and it's your energy being, which is behind thought. It's beyond thought. It's not a rational aspect that you can say, well, I just thought that. And sometimes the words and indications come as a kind of a thought, but they're not your thoughts, kind of thing. It's quite hard to comprehend on some level. But as you follow a journey, and you've been doing it for maybe 10, 15, 20, maybe you've been doing this spiritual journey for a lifetime, you become a lot more consciously aware that there's something much deeper going on, and you're evolving. And I call it like soul wisdom rather than thought. It's soul wisdom. There's a difference. There's a separation. So the thought and the analytical, the analyzing of things with the rational mind, and making the everyday decisions about what we should do. Should we turn left? Should we turn right? This is how we cross the road. This is how we perceive danger. This is when we're in our safe space. That is our thought process working. When we're in a meditative state, and when we're beyond the thought, there is something much deeper going on. I feel, if you disagree or you don't kind of get that, then let me know. But and but the a lot of the stuff that he was talking about on this podcast, and forgive me for not remembering the name of it, but there was almost like a spiritual element to his to the words that he was saying, because we're all spiritual at the end of the day. But there was a how do I? It's kind of there was almost like a childlike enthusiasm for discovery, and that's kind of like what we're doing in when we're going through an awakening or on a spiritual journey. We're in this sort of, it's almost like a childlike state, because you're letting go of the rational stuff. You're letting go of the mechanisms where you felt trapped or controlled or penned in, and you're opening yourself up to something more, something deeper that comes from within. It's like an inner calling, and that is a deeper state of consciousness, rather than just this thinking. There's something within that is also speaking and giving messages. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. What do you think? I mean, has anybody ever watched a Brian Cox video or a podcast, and what have you thought about the things that he said? Does it kind of like resonate with you on some level? Do you feel that there is a maybe like a deeper meaning behind what he's saying, or do you think everything that he's saying is kind of like too fixed, too locked in thought? What do you think about that? Let me know what you think about that. But there is so much crossover between like spirituality and energy. We talk about energy quite a lot. And then obviously in science, they talk about energy a lot. And you talk about the quantum field. So there's Dr. Bruce Lipton. He's a physicist, and he works in quantum mechanics, and he works in the quantum field. And he's often said in his podcasts and interviews that he's had before, is that in science they call it the field, or the quantum field, whereas in spirituality they call it spirit. It's both the same thing. It's one and the same thing. And it, so this conversation that Brian Cox was having, it was so close to everything that we kind of discuss on this channel, and many other channels as well. So many really close connections and correlations. Angels, mate, are you still making a cuppa? Is this another cuppa you're making? You must have drank that first one very quick. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know, have you ever watched sort of a conference with Brian Cox? Or not a conference, but like a seminar. Have you ever watched a talk with him? He's very interesting to listen to, and I think we have to take aspects of science into kind of our spiritual practice, because it helps us to kind of like evolve a little bit deeper than maybe where we were. Pretty good cuppa. It must have been. Was it coffee or was it, I can't remember what you'd say, was it coffee you were making? And was your coffee from a coffee machine? Was it an instant? Was it from a little sort of packet? What sort of coffee was it? I do like a good coffee. Kind of got sidetracked a little bit there. Latte. Oh, nice. Do you froth your own milk and all that as well? Kind of got sidetracked on what I was talking about because I'm started talking about Angel's cup of coffee, a latte. But yeah, when I come off this live, what I'm going to do is I will try and put in the descriptions, I'll try and find that podcast with Brian Cox, and you can check it out and go and watch it and see what you think. See what you think of it. Mr. Lol, hi. Hi there, Mr. Lol. So how is everybody's day going today? What you're up to? What have you been up to? Where you from as well? Let me know where you're from. I'm in the UK. You've subscribed as well. Thank you very much. It's very kind. That's 2 that I know of that have subscribed, Angel and Mr. Lol. So thank you for being here. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, if you've never been here before and you don't know who I am, then my name's Ian, and I'm in the UK, and I'm a Reiki practitioner and teacher, and I also teach and practice meditation and EFT, hypnotherapy. I'm also a personal trainer as well, and yeah, I use a lot of that to help with the mind-body connection, mental health, that sort of stuff. So if that's something that interests you, please hit that subscribe button, because I cover a lot of that sort of stuff, especially the spiritual stuff. I cover a lot of that on here, on the channel. I also have various playlists which involves Reiki, what Reiki is, how to use Reiki, different practices for people to kind of like learn and understand. Holly Carpenter, hi. Electrolytes, yes. What is Reiki? What's Reiki? Great question. What's Reiki? So Reiki is basically, it is a Japanese healing system, which is made up of 2 words basically. And it is Rei, meaning universal. And then Ki, meaning life force energy or spiritual energy. So it's basically what Reiki is. It's a practice of rediscovering your own spiritual energy to be able to facilitate your own healing, but also give healing to friends, families, clients, and then eventually be able to teach it. But what it actually does is it helps you to calm the mind, relax your nervous system, connect more to your spiritual energy, and then that in turn helps your body's healing, and it helps your body to speed up its own healing process. But as you go deeper on your journey, you realize it's more than just a hands-on healing technique like Jesus used, as Vlad the Inhaler rightly says. But it's so much more than a hands-on healing technique. It's actually reconnecting to your consciousness, to your divine self, your Buddha nature, whatever you want to call it. What's your best detox tip? It depends on what it is. So there's so many different things you can detox from. You can detox from social media. You can detox from TV. You can detox from music. You can detox from your food. It depends on what you want to detox from. If it's food, then you probably want to maybe have, I would say probably maybe 24 hours. You could flush and do a detox, and just drink water, or herbal teas, and yeah, just flush your body out. Don't make it too complicated, and it doesn't need to last too long. But after about 24 hours, then your body's starting to sort of like rehab and harmonize itself. Hello, Elsie Aviation. Oh, bye, Elsie. That was quick. Angel's got a few things to do, but we'll be back. Okie dokie. I need to detox from my own misery. What's causing that then, Vlad? What's causing your own misery? What diet is best? It depends what you want to get from it. So are you wanting to lose weight? Are you wanting to put muscle on? Are you wanting to maintain? Yeah, it just depends really. It depends on what you want from your body, and what you want to achieve. So let me know what that is, and I can give you a bit of a clearer idea. But if you want to if you want to lose weight, if you want to detox and lose weight and lose some body fat, then you want to go to a calorie deficit. You want to increase your activity, and keep it simple. That's all you need to do. Calorie deficit and increase your movement, increase your activity. So whether that's increasing your steps every day, so walking around about 10,000 steps a day, or just moving more. No, not vegan. I wouldn't recommend. It's totally up to you. It's a personal option really, but vegan diets, they're not the most nutritious. A lot of them are very highly processed, which basically defeats the object of what being vegan is for a lot of people. But yeah, you get a lot of nutrients that are missing in a vegan diet. You get a lot of nutrients in meat and in the fats in meat, but there are some fats you can get from like sort of beans, pulses, nuts, that sort of stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't even say carnivore diet is the best diet. It's okay for a very short period of time, but it's not something that can be maintained. Basically, a balanced diet. So you need to have the whole range of carbs. People fear carbs, because there's this whole connection to carbs making you fat, but carbs don't make you fat. What does make you fat is eating too much and then not moving enough. So that's what makes you overweight. That's what makes you sluggish. So that's why I say about having a calorie deficit. Carnivore diet you can only really maintain for so long because you don't have enough essential nutrients in just meat. So you need to look at other stuff that you need in your diet that you're gonna miss, such as green leafy veggies and what have you. Life gets overwhelming. It certainly does, Vlad. I'm totally with you there. Nuts have got good fats. Take care, Vlad. Nice of you to pop in. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Have you ever had? I have no idea what that is. What is that dispassionate observer? Oh man, I have no idea what that is. Celise, I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you? No, 1 meal a day. Yeah, again, I wouldn't. It depends on what the meal is and what what is your goal? What do you want to get out of your diet? So think about what you want to get out of the diet. What is it you want to achieve? Don't overcomplicate it. That's good to hear, Celise. I'm glad you're doing well. Whereabouts are you? Whereabouts are you from? I like the relaxing music in the background. May I ask what made you go live today? I'm on your channel for the first time. Well, welcome to the channel. Celise from Germany. I'm in the UK. And I normally try and go live 4 or 5 times a week. I haven't been live much this week. I don't normally go live on a Sunday, but I thought I'd pop on for maybe an hour or so. I normally go on for about an hour. And just come on here and I'll paint and chat and talk about whatever and kick people out that get on my nerves, that say silly things. But yeah, it's nice to have you here, Celise. Thank you for joining the channel. Thank you for watching. If you're new here as well, don't forget to subscribe and check out my other content. Boardman Scotland. Do I work with what? Yeah, Celise, you get a lot of people like that. I normally have a couple of moderators in, but I haven't got any in today, so I'm having to do that myself. What is your work? So, art, so I paint. I'm also a therapist I use Reiki and hypnotherapy and EFT and what have you. And I also coach clients, fitness clients. So yeah, a range of different things. But before this, I worked in retail. I've worked in hospitality. I've worked all over the place. I was a butcher at one point. Do you do CBT? I don't do CBT. No, not as such. There's a little bit of aspects of it that get used in like EFT and hypnotherapy a little bit that kind of stuff, but not as kind of because CBT is kind of quite analytical, whereas I tend to work more with the intuitive person. I tend to go a little bit deeper than that, rather than just surface level thoughts. I take them a little bit deeper than that. You live on Crete. Beautiful, beautiful island. I hope you know that it's not your fault. I have no life whatsoever, so I'm on relatively many live streams some days. And the amount of hatred and trolling is honestly ridiculous. People should do better. Yeah, but you know what? Like I always say, like on the lives and on my videos and what have you, if you're somebody in the world that is trying to build positivity and create change in people, it always brings the demons out. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's making them realize, should I be that way or should I make a change? Do I need to be this sort of negative towards people that are trying to maybe look at a bit of a more positive outlook on life? Sometimes it works. Sometimes it helps to make people realize that they're just being assholes and they need to kind of do better and make a change in their life. Sometimes it doesn't, but not everybody is in the right state of mind and the right place to do that, to make that change. There's a lot of ego in the world. There's a lot of ego that is being exposed within people now, especially as we're kind of like evolving spiritually as a species. Then yeah, there's a lot of that is coming out, and a lot of Earth souls find that difficult. To find it hard to take. You look young, but is an old soul. Well, I'm 45. I'm 45 years old, and I think I've always been a bit of an old soul. I've always gone against the grain slightly. But I didn't for many years, and that's what caused a lot of my mental health issues at the time. And that's when I had to find myself, like why was I behaving in such a way? So yeah, and that's what took me to what I do now, and how I work, and this spiritual journey that I'm on. Are you a starseed? I would say on some level we all are, but not everybody's aware of it. Not everybody's ready to be aware of it. But we're all an element of the universe. All our atoms and everything that makes us, the energy that makes us, is an aspect of everything. So everything is already within. So all of that out there, a lot of people say like, I'm a starseed, or I come from this constellation originally, or my soul originates here, which is what a lot of the Akashic records talk about. But we're all an aspect of that. We all have that within us, every single one of us. Lewis, welcome, welcome, welcome. Celise, oh folk, I agree fully. I'm trying to be decent enough too, and I try to be open to the attempts of making change, but I'm also depressed as F, and it's scary to be this vulnerable. You are doing good. It is scary to be vulnerable, but sometimes we have to step into the unknown. We have to step into the fear, and this is another aspect of science and spirituality that work in kind of like side by side in harmony. So science is always stepping into the unknown. They're looking at things that they don't understand, they don't get. And that's where we are as individuals on a spiritual journey. We're stepping into the unknown to find out more about us, because that fear, that unknown, also evokes excitement. So when you do something that takes you out of your comfort zone, it creates that level of inner harmonization by bringing up that excitement. You're like, oh my God, I've done it. I've actually made that decision. I've actually taken that step. I've actually made that change. And then wonderful things happen from that energy that you create from within. Lewis, what is happening? I'm kind of like just chilling, chatting. Yeah, we've had a few gremlins in, but I think they've kind of buggered off. Yeah. Tropical or sidereal astrology? I don't know. I'm not really into astrology. I've tried to get into astrology, but it just confuses the hell out of me, so I just leave that to the astrologers. I just don't get it. Are you Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Yes, I am. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. What's your birth date? My birth date is the 4th of June, 1980. Johnny Blade, thumbs up. Back at you, bro. Ha 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 ha, says Celise. It's been really lovely, you know, a lot of the Johnny Blade, February 13th, 1983. Oh, 3 years younger than me, 42. Celise, you're a June child too. Are you Gemini then, Celise? Are you a Gemini? Hugh Anos, you're my number one fan. Yes, Gemini, beautiful. My brother's a Gemini as well, so we were both born in the same month. He's 5 years older than me, but we were both born in the same month, so we're both Geminis. I mean, I do know that kind of astrology, astronomy, you know, there's all these different connections that do go on. There's a lot of like overlaps. 4th of June is Taurus in Sidereal. I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce it. 4th of June is Taurus in Sidereal. I don't know. Sending a healing hello to our kindred spirit. Keep doing your good work. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's so cool that you were both born in the same month. Do you get along well? It sounded sweet how you talked about him. We do get along well. We've had our disagreements over the years, but I mean, at the end of the day, who doesn't? But no, we do get along well. We did have a lot of disagreements during COVID, because he worked with government at the time, so he was very much under that influence, whereas I kind of like knew what was like going on, but he didn't agree with what I was saying. So we had a few disagreements about that, but we're okay. Yeah, I think that's part and parcel of the process. I think you just, as you get older, you kind of like, you just kind of evolve and you develop more, like sibling connection and less rivalry, and you just become more at peace with kind of like with who you are and where you are and what you think, what you feel, what you believe, and you just kind of go along with it. I think life's too short to be holding grudges and, you know, being at not at ease with each other. Yeah, people's opinions on COVID did differ quite a lot. They still do, you know, there's still a lot of division over it. There's still a lot of people that, you know, that kind of like went along with the rhetoric that was going on at the time, but I kind of like knew it was going to happen about 6 months before it actually did. My guides spoke to me and said, well, they basically just said to me, they just said, "Oh, we haven't had a virus for a while, have we?" And I was just like, what's that mean? And then 6 months later, it all started. It all kind of like kicked off. And then I realized what they were talking about. I was like, right, okay, that's what you were trying to get across to me. Are you a flat earth truther? No, not really. I don't go along. Round, flat, I really don't care. I'm really not that bothered. I know that we get lied to. I know that a lot of history is hidden. I know a lot of truth has been hidden over the years, and history has been changed. Maybe years ago I might have stuck with it and kept going with it. But I find greater strength in just having peace within myself, rather than getting caught up with whether something's flat, round, oblong, whatever shape it might be. I'm just more at peace with, okay, it is what it is. What can I actually do about it to change that? Yeah, I might have an awareness of it. I might have a bit more knowledge about it. But other than that, it doesn't affect me really. So I try and keep myself more centralized rather than scattered into different thought patterns and belief structures. Yeah, absolutely, Celise. Yeah, fully agreed. Life's too short. Yeah, to hold on to grudges and unnecessary stress. Yeah. A lot of people live for that. A lot of people do live for that kind of, the stress of things, of life. A lot of people live for trying to create stress or, bring that sort of stuff into people's lives, and they're the little demons coming out in people, trying to create reactions. And on some level, they're there to teach us, but also on another level, they need to learn when to wind their necks in. Are you anti-vax? I wouldn't say I was anti-vax, but I don't agree with a lot of the stuff, the way that it's being pushed now, whereas before it was more choice related, and you could have a choice, whereas a lot of it now is very much kind of like forced, and people get kind of like hypnotized into it. So it's very hypnotic, the whole process. And that's why I keep myself kind of like centralized, so I can like listen to what I feel from that, what my intuition is telling me. So I think a lot of stuff is being created for a certain reason, for a purpose. Whether you want to believe it's to dumb people down, make people ill, whatever you might believe. I don't know. There is an element of truth in that. But I don't think, when vaccines came around, I don't think they were created with that overall intention, but they have been manipulated, I think, over the years. And stuff, shit happens, basically. It's how we deal with it as individuals, and keeping ourselves sovereign. So at the end of the day, we have a decision to make. It's down to us. Do we comply or do we not comply? It's our body, it's our choice, it's our decision. And it should never be forced. It should never get to a point where if you haven't had this, you can't work. If you haven't had this, you can't travel. If you haven't had this. And it's this whole control system that they're trying to bring in with digital ID, with this whole facial recognition. Everything is pointing to China. and everything is pointing to this control mechanism, the social credit score and the system that they have in China. Everything is pointing to that, even though this democratic world that we're supposed to live in is so opposed to communism and all this sort of stuff. But in actual fact, the UK now is getting more and more communist every day. You can't say this. Anything you put on Facebook, the police are coming to you, knocking at your door at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you can't have this opinion, you can't say that. Really? That's democratic? That's allowing you to have freedom of speech? It's getting a little bit questionable. Unfortunately, that's true. Some people love creating stress, and some even seem to love the challenge of life, though I'm not quite sure if they're just saying that. Are you painting right now? Yeah, I'm just on with a little bit of... I'm just doing the reflections in the water at the minute. Yeah, so it's kind of like what I'm working on. I started this one before that one that I've just finished not so long ago, which was the dog, which is still waiting to be packed and collected and what have you. But that's the last one that I've just done. So that's for somebody's little doggy that sadly passed away. So, let's lean that on there. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of we are seeing a lot of that. A lot of a lot of people now stepping into their sovereignty. We're seeing a lot of people that are they're going out, they're protesting what they feel is wrong, or they're saying what they feel is right, and good on them, rightly so. It's about time people started actually waking up, but it's not going to affect everybody. Not everybody is going to be on the same frequency, and there's always going to be disruptions, there's always going to be distractions, always. Boiling Frog, that's a name and a half. Pure blood. Just doing a little bit of bro, that looks so cool. I love seeing different art styles of people. I feel so much love from the dog one. I really enjoyed doing the dog one. I just sold 2 pieces not so long ago. They were like roses, and I'm not really a flower painter, but I really enjoyed doing them. And one was for a lady's mother, and then another one was it was actually a friend of my mother's, and it was their golden wedding anniversary. So my mother really liked the paint that I did of this pink rose, and she said, "Oh, could you do that in a gold for their friend's golden wedding anniversary?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll give it a go." But yeah, I really enjoyed doing them. Like I say, I'm not really much of a flower painter, and I'm only really doing this Eiffel Tower one because a friend of mine went away to France, and he put some really, really cool pictures on his Facebook, and I saw some of the buildings, and I saw like this picture of the Eiffel Tower, and I just thought, oh, that might be quite a good one to try and paint. So I just went with it. I just thought I'd give it a go, and yeah, here we are doing it now. But yeah, I quite like looking at different styles of how people paint, and in my style it changes a lot. If I'm doing sort of channeled sort of spiritual art, it's much more free flow. It's just sweeping colours and shapes and what have you. But when I'm doing something with more kind of like intention, and it's a little bit more delicate, it's a lot more, my brush strokes are a lot more controlled. It looks really nice. Do you ever feel sad selling your art? sometimes gift mine to people, and you always got to keep a copy because otherwise I'll miss it. Yeah, I do sometimes feel that with some pieces. I mean, all the pieces that I've done that are around me on the walls, I'll probably keep these all the time. But every now and again, you do a piece and like it may be for someone, and you get quite attached to it. You think, oh, I don't really want to let that one go. I've really enjoyed doing that one, or you've got something personally out of the actual painting of it, so you don't want to let it go. But inevitably, at some point, it has to really. But yeah, I mean, I did all the art that's around me. I did it just kind of like for the room, for like when I'm doing the videos, when I'm doing the content. So it's got that sort of feel about it, and that's why I just put all the stuff up around me. I've had loads of thumbs up on this live. 17, that's really good for me. I've had some really lovely people in chatting as well. Yeah, so yesterday I did a quick live yesterday, and I was just going over, I was doing a bit of brainstorming. I was thinking of kind of like ideas for new videos. So I've got a list. I've got a page and a bit of ideas for videos that I'm going to try and get up on the channel. And I normally have around about a month's worth of videos scheduled. Hello, silly little kitties, silly little kitties. Hello, good morning. And yeah, so I normally have videos going out every Monday and every Friday, and then I'll do a few shorts off them in between to try and gain some traction on those videos to get them seen. Yesterday, I was really fed up yesterday. I was tired yesterday. Didn't help, because obviously we've got loads of fireworks. I appreciate that mindset, because realistically everything has to go eventually. Nothing's forever. The memories will still last. Anyway, enjoy your painting. I'm a go. Nice meeting you. I subscribe, so that'll hopefully come across your lives again. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's been lovely having you here. It's been lovely chatting. Have a beautiful day, whatever you do, and take care. And I hope this little bit of live, bit of interaction brings a little bit of light to your day. So just go and spread that light. Beautiful having you here. Thank you for being here. So that's what I was doing yesterday. Just trying to think of ideas for videos, because you get to a point as well where you kind of like, you're just going round in circles, and you just constantly creating, like, you maybe do stuff for like 6 months, and then you kind of like rehashing it with a different twist. And after a while, you just think, oh, I just need to do something like fresh. I need to do something different. Have a beautiful day, Celise. You did spread some light into my day for sure, and I'm deeply grateful for it. Oh, bless you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I've got a few ideas for meditation videos, because meditation videos tend to always be pretty popular on my channel. Apart from the recent ones, I've done a few recent ones which have been a meditate with me, where I've just been sat meditating, and I've done like an audio dialogue over the top. And I thought, in my head, it would be quite good for someone to just do a meditation with me on the screen, and then we're kind of like meditating at the same time, and it kind of like builds that frequency and that energy from the meditation. But they've not had very good views, to be fair. They've only had maybe 20 or 30 views, which is 20 or 30 views, which is fine, but I thought they might have had a few more than that. So I've just been coming up with some different ideas for meditations, Reiki videos, some EFT videos, and some hypnosis videos as well. So yeah, I'll do some more of them. 18 thumbs up now, yeah. So if you just joined, if you just watched this live, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for being here. Thanks for all the loves. I've had some lovely loves Love hearts flying up the screen at my end, so that's been really nice as well to see. It all helps with the channel to get seen. It helps with the algorithm. It helps with building the audience, and there's some more. Thank you very much. And yeah, and if you're new here, if you've never been here, do subscribe. Like I say, I do videos pretty much Mondays and Fridays most weeks, and lives throughout the week beyond that, and building a really, really good. Oh, them love hearts are still going. Thank you very much. Building a really, really lovely community of like-minded souls that have got something from the lives, or they've got something from the content, or they've got something from something I might have said, might have just planted a seed, and that can sometimes make a whole difference in somebody's life on some level. So yeah. So there we go. So yeah, so I've done a little bit of painting. So that's what we've been on. We're back onto that one. So if you've watched me before, you'll have seen me start this one. But it's the Eiffel Tower, and I've just been doing the reflections underneath. So yeah. But yeah, so I've been on for nearly an hour. I tend to come on to a live for about an hour. Thank you very much, silly little kitties. Thank you very much. It's 5 to 12. Where's the day go? So yeah, so I'll probably do a bit of content this afternoon. For some more videos. So I've got videos scheduled up till early December. So if you want to get early access to them, you can join the membership on the channel for it's like, I think it's $3.99 or something like that. You get early access to that content. And I always give my members early access to all the content that I put out, so they get to see everything before anybody else. You get a few other little perks as well through YouTube. You get badges and emojis you can use and things like that. And every now and again I'll do members only lives as well. So that's something that members like to take part in. So yeah, so there we go. More loves, more hearts. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, so there's a bit of everything here on the channel. There's stuff to do about spirituality, about awakening, about mental health. Fish Bob Jr., I do remember you. How could I forget that name? Reiki videos, meditations, crystal videos, art videos, art content. There's a bit of all sorts on here. Anything to do with kind of like mindfulness, meditation, helping anxiety, helping stress, helping relieve your mental health. There's a lot of that sort of stuff on the channel. So if that interests you, please do subscribe and check out my playlists and my content. I'm sure there'll be something somewhere that will tickle your fancy. But yes, I do remember you, Fish Bob. Yeah, I am gonna head off shortly because, like I say, I've been on for just under an hour now. I've been healing myself for the last couple of years. That's good to hear. What we've been doing, meditation, Reiki, what we've been on with, what's your journey been like? Mindfulness, grounding. I do hope the lives help as well, just being in this kind of like peaceful, like, nice flow, relaxed state really helps with that connection. Do. definitely grounding, and yes, Orange Clown. I cannot stop drinking zero Coke every day. Stop drinking it. Just stop drinking it. You don't need it. You do not need it. Just keep telling yourself that. I do not need it. I do not need Coke Zero. I do not need Coke Zero. Just keep telling yourself that. Just rewire it. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good for you. Hey, right guys, well, I'm going to head off, but thank you for being here. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for the wonderful, wonderful chat that we've had with lots of wonderful souls. But yeah, if you want to book any Reiki, if you want to book any healing, then head down to this descriptions box, and yeah, all my socials and website are there. So do feel free to get in touch. What's this? March, do you believe in the paranormal? Yes, I do. But yeah, so I'm just learning. I did Reiki in person. That was great. Good. Reiki or distance, you know, I've worked actually through a few of the lives. I've had people that have booked distance Reiki with me, and that they've really felt the benefit of Reiki. Any experience? Oh, loads of experiences with the paranormal. Yeah, it used to be like a nearly everyday thing. It really did. Yeah, loads of places that I've worked in, there's always things that were going on. There was always paranormal stuff that was taking place, and things getting thrown around, or I would feel them around me, or see them, see spirit and what have you. Yeah, so what was the most creepy? Probably the most creepiest I felt out was when I used to work in a coffee shop, and that was pretty messed up. That was really creepy. Some days you would go in and you just didn't want to go in there. It felt absolutely awful. You always felt like you were being watched or followed. Yeah, you just felt like someone was gonna like push you, like doom, like really hard, or chase you. Have you ever encountered a demonic? Not that I know of. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't really put much power into that sort of stuff. I don't give it the energy it needs. I mean, I've been on some different investigations. I've been into all sorts of different places that have made me feel kind of like different things and what have you. And on some level, the energy, when you're working with the energy, it makes you feel nervous anyway, because of just because of the way it vibrates, and the way it's kind of like connecting to us, and when the energy is trying to connect to us or speak to us or speak through us, it goes through kind of like your solar plexus, and like through your back, and then it moves up, and then that's how you connect to the energy. So it always makes you feel a little bit kind of like, ooh, a little bit on edge and a little bit nervous anyway. But I don't really know if I've felt things that have not felt pleasant, but yeah, whether it's that, I don't know, but yeah, but I've been in lots of different places, lots of different situations where there's meant to have been this negative force or whatever, but yeah, it's never really. A lot of it as well is kind of like it's just a lot of it's hype at times. It makes good theatre as well. A lot of it, especially on TV. Have you tried communicating? I used to. I still communicate every now and again with my guides and with maybe with spirit that wants to chat or whatever, but not as much these days. I don't open myself as much these days, and I just think we've all got the ability to communicate and to listen and what have you, and take on board any messages that might be there. But at the end of the day, we're kind of like the filter, so it depends on us as the individual. So if we've got like a lot of ego or whatever, then we can create that message from within, being that filter. So it depends on how clear you are as a filter, as a kind of a medium for that message. So yeah, but yeah, I tend to have more information and downloads from, I suppose, my higher self, and my guides, you might want to call. Have you helped some? I think sometimes when we're of a higher vibration, I think we just help them naturally. It's like if I'm with somebody that's maybe feeling a little bit low or a little bit out of sorts, when you spend time with them, your energy alone is helping them. So it's lifting their energy, and it just works the same with spiritual energy. So if they can feed off, well, not feed, but if your energy is helping to harmonize and raise their frequency slightly, then it'll help them. And sometimes all you need to do is just visualize, just a doorway of light or whatever, and just allow them to step through and to find peace, or to let go of any of the earthly stuff that they've been hanging on to, that's kept them kind of like. Some people say that they're stuck here, but I don't think anybody's ever stuck. Again, I think that's a little good for theatre. But yeah, it's more, we all have an energetic choice at the end of the day. How do you describe your guide? Well, I have a few. So I have animal guides. So I've got a couple of wolves, eagle and an owl that I know of. I might have more, but they're the ones that I know of. And then I have a couple of Native Americans. One's Hyokan, one's a healer, and I have a Tibetan monk guide, and I also discovered, I think it was last year, a Mongolian shaman guide as well. That's just kind of like how they show themselves to me, but that's just the image that they give me. It doesn't mean that that's what they are, because they're just an energy form. It's just something that we use to kind of like rationalize and understand maybe who they are or who they were. But when I've been in past life regression, some of these guides have already been in previous lives with, so that's why they're connected to me. Some really good questions though, March. Really good questions, so thank you. So yes, so there we go. Are they spirit? Depends on what you term spirit to be. You know, spirit is energy, and everything's energy. So I would say yes. Yeah, well, I mean, it's all energy. You know, spirit. We're spirit in form. You know, so we're spiritual energy. So we're just the same. You know, and that's why I talk a lot about my guides in videos where they're not separate from me. We are all the same. We are all one. So that's how we communicate, and it's through energy. It's through that frequency. The animal guides, how do they form? I just see them in my mind's eye if they're there, if they're assisting. I mean, I know that they're always there, but if they're assisting in some way, I just see them in my mind's eye. Or I'll visualize them doing something or helping in some way. But I usually just see like kind of like the head. So like that painting behind, that's the two wolves, and that's the Native American. So that's kind of like how I see them. Oh, can spirit change form? Yeah, it can be what they can kind of be whatever they want to be, really. So yeah. Anyway, I need to head off. But yeah, might be some good ideas for videos. That actually, some great questions. See you later, March. Thank you very much for your questions. So right, I'm going to head off. Toodaloo for now. And yeah, see you in another live soon. Toodaloo for now, guys. Bye-bye.